This is Nirupama, and like every Thursday, I'm here on the live show with a very special guest. But before I call on the guest, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Nirupama, as you all know, a daughter of an astrologer, wife of a walking, talking encyclopedia, a fitness freak who turned into a cop with Government of India for 6 years, then turned into a TEDx speaker, and now I'm an employee to entrepreneur counselor. I am helping working women transition smoothly from employment to entrepreneurship through this power of healing. And I am here with a very special guest who has managed her time from a very different continent, and she's giving us all the time. So let me just bring that guest right here, right now. Hey Preeti, how are you doing?
I'm really very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking. And, I am so much happy to have you on this show. Thank you for coming here.
Oh, thank you for reaching out, and I love the opportunity.
Wow, the pleasure's all us. So before we move ahead, Preeti, the audience who are listening right now or who might be listening to the recorded version of this particular show, they would really want to know a little bit about your journey. How did Preeti become the person she is, and what is it that she does right now? All the amazing things that you've been doing, and you've been helping people. So please share your journey. The stage is all yours.
Sure, thank you very much for this opportunity, Nirupama. Before I proceed, are you having any static sounds coming through?
I think the sounds from my end are okay. I mean, are you
All
facing
right,
some? Okay.
no, that's fine. Look, my name is Preetie Bholer, and I live in the most isolated city in the world. All right, it's Perth, Western Australia. And Perth has been home for the past 12 years. I'm originally from Malaysia, and what I do is I am mom first. So I'm a mom to my 22-year-old son. I am a sister, and I have three beautiful nieces who are back home in Malaysia. I'm a former lawyer, 30 years with corporate life in a legal fraternity, legal as well as commercial roles in 30 years corporate life. And look, during my corporate life, I've been recognized as a transformational leader, a problem solver, and also great negotiation skills. All right. I currently still hold a management role in a facilities management company. I also volunteer as a non-executive director in a not-for-profit organization. But Nirupama, mid last year, I woke up one morning
Okay.
with a really restless feeling. All right, I was really restless. It's like fire in my belly, kind of restless.
Okay.
I knew there was a lot more for me.
Mm-hmm.
This, 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 this wasn't my life. There has to be more in my life. There has to be
Ab-
more.
yes, absolutely.
All right. And then I realized that, I asked myself this question: what is my legacy?
Yes.
And I think a lot of us go through that at some point in our lives, especially when you're after your 50s, when you're, beyond 50 years of age, you say, what am I leaving behind? What's my legacy? So, well, I thought I had to start building my legacy. So what I did was I made a decision and to start living my true purpose.
Right.
And my true purpose was to teach, facilitate, and guide women become empowered, to have a healthy mindset, to
Yes.
awaken their inner wisdom, turn their lives around. And that's what I did. That was my personal experience after my marriage broke down and a subsequent divorce. So, Empowered by Design was founded based on the the it's based on my personal passion to share my own journey of self empowerment, of self discovery, as well as self recovery.
Wow. Self empowerment, self discovery, and self recovery. What a beautiful and powerful way of expression. So, I mean,
Mhm.
I am very intrigued by this name, Empower by Design. We have been talking about empowerment, we've been talking about design, but what is this Empower by Design? I mean, it's such a wonderful name, and the way you have created it, it is talking so much about itself.
Look, I think I need to tell you a story about why the name is called Empowered by Design.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take you back to the 18th of September 2006.
Right.
It's 1 a.m. in the morning, and I
Mhm.
find myself once again sitting on the bathroom floor, crying my
Yeah.
heart out. I'm sitting on the bathroom floor with a pillow in my hand.
Mhm.
The bathroom floor had become my safe space, and the pillow that I use had become my trusted companion. The pillow I used to muffle my cries had become my trusted companion. So I was weeping uncontrollably, sitting on the floor, and I'm wondering, is this what my life is about? When is my life going to change? I didn't like who I had become, what I had become. And I no longer wanted to live my life feeling stuck, helpless, and disempowered. My limiting beliefs were like shackles that were holding me down. And I no longer wanted to live my life within the confines of other people's expectations. You know what? I felt like I was betraying my true self and I was not allowing my true self to surface. I knew things had to change. So I saw two options before me. Option one was to basically to end my misery and my life, the pain and the frustrations, or I could take matters into my own hands by taking control and remove myself from the situation that was no longer serving me. All right. Now, I thought, you know what, pretty forget option one. Option one is not an option because I wanted to live. Trust me, I wanted so much to live my life, and I wanted to live it with joy, with peace, with love, with laughter, with the abundance of all the good stuff that life offers you, right? And I that was not an option. I've got a son. I love and adore my son, and I was going to live. So I was only left with option two. And option two was going to be a hard option to take, all right? Because I knew the consequences of option two was going to be, it was going to be painful. It was going to be people um, getting upset, all right? And no one will get it. No one understood. So there was going to be a whole heap of issues that I was going to have to face. But I needed the courage. I needed to feel empowered. I needed to have a plan. I needed to know what to do, the why, and the how to do it. I had a lot of work before me, but I needed to stay focused on my plan. So what happened was I sat on that bathroom floor in stillness for a long time, contemplating, reflecting, and planning. It was at these moments when I made a conscious decision to start taking personal responsibility and for being accountable for my life. At the crack of dawn, I stand up, I rise off the bathroom floor, I walk out the door, headed straight to my desk, took a paper and pen, and started writing everything that was flowing through my mind. Nirupama, it felt like I was downloading all the guidance I was getting from the universe.
Wow.
It honestly felt like that. And I was just writing and writing. And then later, I realized that I was actually writing a commitment statement to myself. And the commitment statement was around how my reality blueprint surfaced. All right. When I looked at my commitment statement later, I realized there were 7 fundamental elements within that statement that actually helped me. Well, it evolved into the 7 fundamental element, and then I realized that that was the framework in how I was going to live my life. And that's the same blueprint that has got me to where I am today.
Wow.
It's got me to a position where now for me, it's about cultivating an art of living,
Yes, I'm sure.
achieving. So it's living, achieving, and sharing.
Wow, living, achieving, and sharing. Lovely, lovely. So, Preeti, towards some segment of our interview, we would definitely want to know about that framework. But before we move ahead, you were courageous enough to really uh, follow that download and take the next step ahead. But if we talk about most of the women who are there, they are somewhere living a life based on the culture or the community they are a part of. At the end of the day, most of their life is influenced by what they either learned as a part of their conditioning, before marriage, or ultimately after they get married, the new house that they come to, most of their life is driven by that. So I want to know about this aspect. How can women take an independent choice, and is it possible? Because somewhere or the other, this is not our life. We are living a life that is dictated by many other forces. Please let us know a little bit about that.
Look, Nirupama, I come from a culture. Look, my heritage is Punjabi. So, and I'm originally from Malaysia, like I said. So we are confined by the expectations from the culture, from the community. All right. So, like everyone else, there were expectations on me to get educated, to get married, and to get married to a boy that the family, the family approves of,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I'm sure.
and then you will live with in-laws. And if it's expected that you live with in-laws, you live with in-laws. You don't question that. All right. And then you're meant to have babies. Make sure there's a boy. All right. Because it's really important in our culture that we have boys in the family. And then, of course, you're meant to live happily ever after. Please your spouse, please your in-laws, and live happily ever after. All right. So you become a people pleaser. You are meant to downplay your value and your worth. All right. You only speak when you're spoken to, and the elders are always right. You can't question them.
Cannot
Right?
question them. Yes.
No, you cannot question. Okay. Whether right or wrong, you just have to bow your head and accept it. All
Yeah.
right. I come from that same culture, the same kind of background. But what I want to highlight is, a lot of us have got self sabotage in us, and self sabotage comes from limiting beliefs, trapped emotions, and negative patterns and cycles that we continuously carry on. It could be generations of negative patterns and cycles, and we continue with that pattern. All right. Now, where does this self sabotage come from? Where do negative beliefs or self limiting beliefs come from? It comes from childhood conditioning as well as cultural programming. We
All
can't
right.
run away from it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of the time, if we start accepting that as our truth, accepting that and not letting our true purpose, our true self surface, if we allow self limiting beliefs, for example, in childhood, if whether it's a parent or a school teacher or family member who constantly criticizes you, all right, who constantly says, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're not good for this, oh, you don't know how to do this, so and so can do it better, things like that. Then what happens is your lack, you start the self-love, there will be lack of self-worth in you, so lack of self-love, and then your self-confidence gets kind of erased or down.
Eroded, completely
Yeah,
eroded.
correct. All right. And a lot of us women go through it. I'm sure some men do go through it too, but a lot of us do go through this, especially, if you've brought up with constant self-doubt, then what happens is you're constantly needing validation. You grow up in adulthood seeking validation, seeking to please people around you because you can't say no. And you always put others before you. All right. And then the other thing is you fear being judged. You are, for example, expected to remain married no matter how unhappy you are, no matter, no matter how it's good affecting your well-being. Because what's the narrative? What will people say? People are going to judge you. All right. And look, and then what happens is you start judging yourself. And I've been in that situation where I've judged myself as being a failure so many times. When I couldn't, for example, at the time when I wasn't successful in being a mother, I kept judging myself as a failure. And when my marriage broke down, I judged myself as a failure. So part of, like I said, this, the self-limiting beliefs comes from the cultural condition, the childhood conditioning, as well as cultural programming.
Fantastic. I love the way you have broken it down for us that however we are essentially the products of either our childhood conditioning or the culture that has been around us. So, what is the way? Is there a way by which we can overcome that? I mean, since we are talking about coming out the shackles of that culture and coming out of the shackles of that community. So, is there a way, if you can just give us one or two points regarding that?
Yes, you can, by awakening your inner powers. When you awaken your inner powers, so look, we've got so many powers within us. We sometimes don't acknowledge it. We don't recognize that actually we have the power. We've got the power of choice. We've got the power of thoughts. We've got the power of our mind, which is so powerful, and the power of awareness, crucial. All right. A lot of the times, what happens is when our mind is dwelled about the past, if I'm going to go on living in the past saying, oh, in my childhood, this happened and that happened, and this is how I was treated, this is what so and so said to me, and take that past traumatic experiences along with you in the future, how do you think your future is going to turn out? Right?
Yes.
It's not going to be healthy for you to keep on living in the past,
Right.
correct? So when you awaken your inner powers, well, look, my program teaches you how to use those powers to let go of living in the past. And sometimes what we do also is because of the expectations of others, whether it's family or community, we start worrying about the future. We worry about the future, and we worry about what people are going to say. We worry that causes anxiousness,
Yes.
correct?
A lot of
So
times.
a lot of the time, that's right, because we are we it's expected that we are successful. It's expected that we study hard and get a good job and make sure we earn lots and lots of money and buy that big house and that big car so that the family can feel like, wow, all right, my child is successful. A lot of the times we get so bogged down by what others are going to say, what the family members are going to say, that we forget to live our lives. We forget to become who we are meant to become, you know? And so, yes, one of the ways is to stop dwelling on the past, Stop being anxious about the future and start living in the present. And when your powers are awakened, you can actually learn how to use those powers to learn to live your life as your true self, not your ego self, not the self that you expected of you, but who you're meant to be, and the life you're meant to become, or the life you're meant to live.
Wow, so beautifully articulated. Most of the times we are either living in the past or, we are worrying about the future. How would the future turn out? I mean, the best way to really come out of the shackles, all of those shackles that are, not letting us awaken our true self, is to be in this moment, be in the present moment. And guys, if you are looking at really awakening that power within you, then I want to tell you, she is the lady who can really help you connect with your own self and awaken that inner power within you beautifully. So, Preeti, now I want to move to the next question. You mentioned that you are in a full time assignment, like you are in a full time job, and simultaneously, you are creating a business of your own, or I would say something that is really transformational for a lot of people. You're wanting to change lives for a lot of people. So, at this point of time, I would want to ask you that how are you able to manage it? Because, with business, it's very easy to start a business. But when it comes to sustaining that business and working each and every day with that kind of passion, and that too when you have a full time thing going along with you. So I really want to know those hacks, if there are any, because there are a lot of women who are, in a daytime job or a night shift, and they also want to create a business around, something that they love doing. So please throw some light on that.
For sure. Nirupama, look, I enjoy my day job. All right. So I'm not sure if there's a hack of some sort, but for me, I enjoy my day job, like I said, but I am in my 50s. All right. I'm an empty nester. We all have to have some form of, fulfillment in life, doing other things besides our day job, right? All of us,
Absolutely.
and it when something fulfills you, you have to do it. And what fulfills me is the feedback that I get from my clients. It really warms my heart and puts a smile on my face when they tell me how, tell me the impact that my programs have had on them. And it's also wonderful to be able to witness the difference that my programs made for them. And when I first started, right, when I first started, I thought it's a personal project. I already have the knowledge. I already have all the learnings. Why can't I teach others to go through and to learn what I've learned? Because for me, it was very important to become empowered due to the situation that I was in, and also for me to be a role model. So I wasn't getting empowered and finding myself and to create my own reality. It wasn't just for me, it was also for my son, right? Because I am the role model. As a mom, I have to be a good role model for my son, right? So I needed to become empowered, do all that I have to do so that I could create a new reality. So I'm thinking there are lots of women around who need this help. A lot of women who are probably looking to for ways to become empowered, to become good role models for their own children or for the people around them, and to be a positive impact to others, right? So I thought I needed to do this. Like it felt like it was my calling. Hence, I started doing it by way of weekend workshops. All right. My weekends doesn't have to be filled with watching Netflix series after series, 8 hours on. I could actually be doing a workshop and helping someone else. So that's where I'm coming from. Okay. And at the end of the day, the positive impact and influence my programs having on my clients is the thing that keeps me going. And I love the fact that I'm making a difference. Even if I made, when I first started, I said, even if I made a difference to one person's life, I am fulfilled. So
Wow.
that's where I, yeah.
Lovely, lovely. And you have said it, you put it in such a beautiful way that you love your day job, but uh, there is something that is making you do things because you want to leave a legacy, because you want to create an impact, because you want to transform the lives of people. And my next question is around that. Sometimes there is a work that helps us earn our bread and butter, earn our living, and there is another work which you rightly mentioned is your calling. It's a higher purpose. It connects us to that higher purpose, and we lose the track of time. In doing that, we can just keep doing that for hours and hours without getting tired at all, right?
Mm.
So my question to you, Preeti, is how would you differentiate the two, and is there a way by which we can understand what is our higher purpose? Because a lot of women who might be listening to us now, or who would be listening to the recorded version, they may be thinking that, hey, I am doing this particular work, I am into sales, or I am into marketing, or I am into operations right now. This is good, but is there anything beyond this that I can do, something that really makes my heart sing? So please let us know about that.
The word I used earlier was building my legacy. I, like I said, that one morning when I woke up restless, I asked myself this question: when I'm gone, what am I going to be remembered for? What am I going to
Right.
be remembered for? Right? I mean, as an employee for the rest of my life, if I was an employee, what would my workmates remember me 10 years, 12 years down the track? I don't
Not
know.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right. They won't even remember who, Pretty was in the workplace. But that was what I felt. And the felt that, and it's not just about building a legacy and to be remembered for the person I am and for how I've contributed to society, how I've contributed, what kind of community work I've done. Some of us do community work. There is a reason why we do it, because you feel it from within you. You feel the need to do it because you know you can make a difference. You can make a difference. And that's what motivated me to do what I did. I don't know if there's any other reason why I did it. And you know what? I suppose I'm also really, I'm also driven by the fact that I like my son to remember me for someone who was this great role model. All right. And I want my grandchildren to remember me as this great role model. I think that's why I do it. I don't know what other reason.
Beautiful reason. I mean, that's a wonderful reason. If we can just let our next generation or our children to remember us as role models, I mean, I think that's big enough. You said that even if one person has contributed, you know, we have done our
Mm,
job. So when you are creating that kind of a legacy for your son and maybe your grandchildren, it's
that's right.
like they say that you build a character in a entire generation. Once you are taking these steps, I'm sure when they think of following their calling, or let's say following what their heart wants to do, you've already set the road for them, and it would be so easy for them to follow that path, because
Yep. Yep.
you're not only transforming yourself, but you are also transforming the next set of generations that are coming.
You said it, Rupama. You know how I talked earlier about the generations of negative cycles sometimes that we inherit. It can go on for generations, the negative cycles in your family. It can go on. But sometimes, look, it's important that we try to create a new path, a positive path for everyone else who's going to come forward. Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's it, that's it. Being that positive role model so that the generations to come will be that positive role models for their generations to come.
Wonderfully put. I mean, either we can look at whatever limiting beliefs or whatever negativity we are taking from our previous generations, or we could be that beacon of light, for the future generations. That yes,
Mm,
there are so many possibilities, there is hope, and whatever the mind can conceive, we can achieve that. I mean,
that's
it's
right.
so much possible. Wow, Preeti. Preeti, you mentioned about your blueprint at some stage, and we are very keen to know about that reality blueprint that you have created.
All right.
Please let us know about that, and how can people benefit out of that, if you can just share a little bit about that.
All right. Now I'll explain it this way, and let's use an analogy, okay? So when you're building a home, a house, a home rather, you need a blueprint. Am I right? So in order to have the structure, you want a strong foundation, you want to have quality specifications, and you want a home that's going to withstand even a cyclone, for example. Okay, so you need a good, strong foundation, a good blueprint that's going to offer that foundation. Now, think about this. If you wanted to build a strong and healthy mindset, if you wanted a strong foundation for your mental home, if you want personal growth, if you want to create a life that you desire, what do you use? What's in your toolbox?
Absolutely.
Right? So, what I offer is the reality blueprint. It is offered in my reality program, but it's basically, I call it the missing pieces for a fulfilling life, because it helps you not just awaken your inner powers, it helps you. The blueprint is used to guide you on how to use these powers. You will be guided by the blueprint on how you use the powers, and it's got seven fundamental elements, the seven fundamental elements, and everything else that you do, the way of your life, like I said, the way of living, achieving, and sharing, everything falls within the blueprint. The seven fundamental elements are the acronym of reality is the seven fundamental elements, which is R is for responsibility, taking personal responsibility. Okay. I'm not going to go into the details. I'm not going to go into what you do, how you do it. All that's part of my program, and how you use your various powers within you and how the element of responsibility can be used for all those for all those powers, and how you awaken that power.
Absolutely.
Now, second element is embrace change. If you fear change, you're not going to go anywhere. If you embrace change, opportunities are before you. All right. Now, the A is for awareness. Awareness is the most important element. Having awareness of your thoughts, having awareness of your behavior, your feelings, your emotions, and how you deal with people. So important. All right. So important. And awareness of your thoughts. Like you are your reality, your thoughts become your reality. So how do you do mindset shifts? It's all around the power of awareness. Okay. Now, L is for love. Hold space for love in your heart, because from that space is where you have gratitude, you have kindness, compassion, and most of all, the power of forgiveness. It comes from love. Okay. And in my program, we'll go through all those teachings and learnings. Now, the alphabet I in reality is for innovative, personal innovation, continuous improvement, constantly be in an innovative mode. All right. Where you're continuously acquiring knowledge, gaining information, acquiring skills, maybe requalifying, but being a sponge that's going to absorb, absorb, absorb. Okay. Now, T is for time. Time waits for no one. We all know that. And then what I want you to do is activate your power of choice to choose the time is now and stop procrastinating. A lot of us procrastinate. We forget that, time waits for no one. And also invest time in yourself. All right. Now, finally, why is for you. The person in the mirror that you see every morning when you brush your teeth, that person in the mirror, you have to honor you, love you, be grateful for you, and even forgive you. If there's anything you've done, you feel you need to forgive yourself, it's so important to do that for you. Love you, self care. It all starts with you, actually. If you don't have self care and self worth, then there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So that's basically an overview of what the reality blueprint is. But within the program, there's a lot more you will learn. You learn about activating your personal action plan and also achieving sustainable self transformation so that you gain wisdom and it becomes the way of life for you.
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, you have, created such a powerful blueprint. I mean, encompassing so many areas: responsibility, awareness, then embracing change, love. Oh my God. I mean, all of these things, they are actually rewiring you from within to become a very different person altogether. So,
Yes,
Preeti, yeah.
sorry, I was just going to say that's the foundation of your mind. If you want to have a healthy mind, this is the blueprint you need. All
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you mentioned, that thought becomes things. Whatever you think, they are going to become your reality, and whatever is there in your mindset, I mean, that is the path that you can see for yourself. You're not able to see the rest of the path because that's what, your mind allows you to see.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's right. And also, just very quickly, what happens also is you will learn in the program how to use your conscious mind, understand what your subconscious mind does, and how to basically process your thoughts and make sure that you choose with your power of choice, choose the right stuff that gets embedded or deposited in your subconscious mind.
Lovely. So, Preeti, before we move to the next question, since we've spoken about the reality blueprint so powerfully, if there's anyone who's watching this or the recorded version, and if they want to know about the reality blueprint, how do they get through you? Of course, one way is, guys, you can just put it in the comment section, and I'll get you connected to this beautiful lady. But Preeti, if there is, a way by which people need to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Oh, absolutely. So you can connect with me through LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, so the Empowered by Design, and Instagram, and absolutely connect with me through LinkedIn as well. And what we can do is also provide you links to my website, and that's how you can get in touch with me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Preeti, for providing us all the different tools, different channels by which we can get to get all those nuggets of gold from you. So,
Thank you.
Preeti, we are moving towards the final part of this show, and this is the most difficult thing because there is so much to learn that I just don't want to go from this show. So I want to know from you, what is your final message to all the people who are listening to you at this point of time and would be watching the recorded version? Uh, those final words of wisdom from you, Preeti.
All right, my final message: choosing. I want you to know that choosing is the most important activity of the mind. All right. So you have the power of choice within you. The choices and the decisions that you make in your life is the part that you are mapping for yourself. So if you wish to create a new reality for yourself, then You need to learn how to make the right choices for you. You want to make good judgment and wise choices. And if you are on a path to finding yourself, your true self, who you want to become, and you want to create a new reality for yourself, then I say, do not hesitate to seek help from those who can help you. Look, no one achieves success in life by themselves. No one. All right. You only have one life and you owe it to yourself to live it the right way. And the way to live it with joy, with peace, harmony, love, laughter, and of course, the abundance of all the good stuff. So I say, don't do it alone. Seek for help. Reach out to those who can help you. Look, even life coaches need a coach. So I say, reach out for help.
Lovely. I mean, there's enough and more help available in the universe. All you have to do is to go to the right person, ask for help, because you don't need to do the same mistakes which people have already done. I mean, you can do better set of mistakes. Very powerfully presented, Preeti. You mentioned about the power of choice. Whatever choices we took in the past, those have brought us today. I mean, the place where we are today, and the new choices we make, they're going to take us to the next set of things that we choose and want to create for our life. Preeti, there's one thing, I cannot let you go before asking that. I mean, you've always been talking about awakening your inner power, and I know we are overshooting time, but I just want to ask you that one thing. If you can really talk about how the women entrepreneurs or the would be women entrepreneurs, the working women who are listening to us, is there a way by which they can awaken their inner power? Just a few nuggets of gold from you.
Absolutely. Look, Nirupama, this is where I suggest women start. Okay. You start by asking yourself this question. If you had nothing, absolutely nothing stopping you, you've got no limiting beliefs, no expectations from anyone, you've got no money issues, you've got no issues whatsoever or blockages to stop you. What is your one desire for yourself? If you start there, so what is your one truest desire for yourself? And you got to dig deep, let that come through, and then realize that if that's what you want to achieve in life, that's who you want to become, that's the reality you want to build for yourself, know that the universe will conspire. If you awaken all your powers, when I say powers, I am talking about your power of choice, the power of thoughts, the power of awareness, the power of your mind. Oh my God, the power of your mind. It's so powerful. Okay. But you have to start with deciding what you want for yourself, who you want to be. You have to start there. And the moment you make that decision, that commitment, this is what I want, you can watch how your energy shifts. And when your energy shifts, like I said earlier, the universe conspires and it will deliver. When you're ready, the universe delivers.
Lovely. They say, when the disciple is ready, the master appears. Similarly, we are the disciple and the universe is our master. So
Yeah.
when we are ready, the universe starts showing us those ways, that path, onto which we can walk and create a new reality and alter our current set of reality. Beautifully put. Uh, and I'm so glad I asked you this question. Otherwise, I would have held this question within me. So, Preeti, I just want to know. Hope you had a good time. How was your experience being on the show? I mean, did you enjoy the show? Just want to know on a lighter side.
Oh, look, absolutely. I totally enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Nirupama. When you first approached me, I wasn't sure what to expect, but having watched all your other podcasts, I mean, you've got some great podcasts going on, and some great women, unstoppable women. Um, Look, I think the audience are so this is so valuable to the audience, right? Because a lot of people don't know what they don't know. All right. But when they watch something like that, it will trigger something in them and say, and they would like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know I could get help for something like that. And I've been in those situations, so I totally understand. And I'm so thankful for you, Nirupama, for giving me this opportunity.
The pleasure is all mine. You said that even if one person would be transformed by what you're saying, I am feeling that transformation at the end of this podcast. And I just cannot thank you enough. Thank you for, bringing all the wisdom with so much of authenticity, with so much of love, and can't thank you enough. Thank you, Preeti, for giving your time. And we all enjoyed it a lot. Guys, if you have enjoyed this show, please make sure that you please like this particular talk and share your valuable comments. And if you have any questions, please write it in the comment section so that we can send it to Preeti and Preeti can answer all those questions for you. Please make sure you do that. Thank you so much, Preeti. We are so happy to have you today.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Preeti. So that was Preeti and this Thursday show, and we will be bringing you some more guests on the coming Thursdays. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave, I just want to say please lock your Thursdays because somewhere or the other, we are wanting to create these shows around your need. And if there is any particular topic onto which you would want us to create a show, please let us know in the chat section. And please make sure that you're sharing these episodes with your friends so that it can reach out to more and more people. And to wind this up, I would just want to say own your greatness and soar high because the world needs that special you. Please take care. Have a fantastic evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're logging in from. And I just can't thank you enough for being here and giving your precious time. Thank you very much. And I take it very seriously. Thank you so much, everyone.